A few days after knocking my backpacking stove over and spilling boiling water on my legs, I was bandaged up and back on trail. I left Punch Bowl Shelter on a slow, foggy morning, ready for whatever the week would bring my way. It's a beautiful foggy morning here in, I guess, Northern Virginia. I know we're about a week away from the Shenandoahs. Oh, and my parents said that they might come visit me. They live in Louisville, Kentucky, so it's not too far away from Virginia. I hope they can make it out here. I'd love to see them. Looking through the trees up ahead, I was like, oh look, it's my friends. And then what are they sitting by? We've walked 800 miles now! Dang. I'm back to the feeling of I don't want it to end. And you know what it means to see this mile marker? I've now been carrying this dress for over 100 miles. It's been a pretty tough day. So many hills. My knees have been tired lately. We went 17 miles, but I am like less than a mile, I think, from the campsite. Did you see that cave back there? That was so cool. Anyway, less than a mile from the campsite. Okay, you're right. Let's go back and look at it. I said cave, but it's not a cave, it's rocks piled on each other. That would be perfect in a downpour. So cool. Anyway, less than a mile from the campsite. And, oh my gosh, my parents said they are coming to visit in 2 days. They're going to stay for 3, and I can't wait. It's going to be interesting to compare our two worlds. Tonight is kind of a rare night because I'm camping by myself for the second time on the AT. Technically, I'm not by myself. There's people over there and there. But what happened was there was a miscommunication. We were either going to a shelter or here. And the shelter, it was half a mile from the trail. And I was like, I was the last one in the group, and I was like, I do not want to walk down and back, which would be a full mile, just to discover they're not there. So I was playing it safe, and then they're not here. And I'm set up my tent, which is also very rare. I usually just sleep in shelters because it's a lot easier. So a nice little cozy night to myself tonight. another extremely slow morning getting out of camp, but I'm only walking 14 miles today. Oh yeah, P.S. Camping by myself was really cool. Like, I missed being around my friends, but I got to bed early. I slept for a long time. I was more good about getting up right away. I'm starting to pack. It's just bandaging my leg that slowed me down.
Technically he's more busy because he's more of just a caterpillar.
I'm doing a blue blaze, which means a side trail called Spy Rock. So far it's very beautiful with rhododendrons, but I'm thinking it's further than 0.1 back here, like Guthook said. That was pretty cool. Not many times out here you get 360 views. It's now 5:30 and I am in the last mile before the shelter. It turned out to be a way harder day than I thought. Even though it wasn't that steep, it wasn't that long, every day out here is a tough day because, I don't know, just the mentality of making yourself go forward when you'd rather just relax, when you'd rather just eat. I've been texting with my parents throughout the day when I've had service. I don't really need anything, but I was like, can you bring me a change of clothes? Because I miss wearing an outfit other than this. I forgot to say, I'm really excited for this shelter because I heard of it before the trail. Every shelter has a logbook where I think it started people just signing their names, but now it's people write messages to people coming behind them. People just write entertaining things, write about how their day was. And in this logbook, people confess their sins, like they're talking to a priest, because it's a priest shelter. It's going to be exciting to read what people's sins are. P.S. Not like real sins, but trail sins. People are going to try to be funny about it. What'd you say?
I think I broke a man's fishing pole when I threw my backpack on it during a hitch. I'm so sorry. I buy different freeze-dried meals just to see how they make my farts smell.
I guess it's only fair that I share my confessions too. You can pause to read if you want, but basically, I pay more attention to making videos than taking care of myself. I ate all my food that night instead of saving some for tomorrow, just in case. And on occasion, I watch TikToks on trail, which really goes against how I'm trying to immerse myself in nature, but sometimes on a bad day, I just need to zone out and think about something else. Smokemaster, which is this lovely gentleman in the hat, had a love poem written to him. Oh my gosh, who was it? Handwriting analysis, go. Most of the confessions were about I don't dig my cat hole deep enough. I don't hang my food. Some people took it seriously though and wrote out like, I judge other hikers. I'm not confident in my own hiking abilities, so I'm secretly glad when my tramily decides to take a 0 because I don't want to say anything. And I really appreciate both the silly and the real, because the real, like, it's so good to, like, I don't know that the things that people are afraid to say still exist. They just don't say them out loud. Revelations here at the pre-shelter tonight. Anything to add, boys?
It was pretty entertaining, better than any TV show.
Real good read. Gonna add my confession to the list right after this.
Ooh, what's his confession? The first morning I got out of camp before 9 since I burned my legs. It's a nice cool morning. I'm sure that'll change fast. But I get to see my parents at the end of the day. I told my friends they could either call them Mr. and Mrs. our last name, or they could call them Mr. and Mrs. Ranger, Mom and Pop Ranger. Nice little lunch of whatever I had left. Now, time to crush this hill. And I say that because I'm probably not going to crush it. It's probably going to be very difficult, but I'm psyching myself up. I had a lot of nervousness this morning about what if I told my parents to plan and then I was like, oh, but with thru hiking we change plans so often. I don't want to like inconvenience them, but then I texted them about it and they were like, we're retired, it's all good. So glad for their flexibility and glad to see them in a few hours. I'm thinking there must be a wildfire or something somewhere because this is super hazy. I'm climbing the last hill until I get to see my parents. It's gonna be so nice to just have them here and be a part of my AT experience. My dad dropped me off at Springer Mountain and walked the first 3 miles with me, and now they get to meet some of my friends from the trail. They get to see me after a long sweaty day, and I guess it is kind of a bonus too that this is the first time in the past over 2 months that I've had access to someone with a car and been able to ask, hey, do you mind if we stop by here? Any conveniences that I have on trail are just so nice. I appreciate them so much more. Not even on the other side of the hill, but hiking down to me, guess who I saw? Mom! My parents!
Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know that how many thousands, millions have put their feet where I have put my feet.
It's a little grocery store if anybody needs that.
They know where to go.
This is beautiful.
For their first surprise, my parents brought my friends and I food and treats, and we took turns dividing them up. They also bought beer and dinner for us at Devil's Backbone, a very hiker-oriented brewery.
Good IPA selection.
Cheers, y'all!
Cheers.
This is called Alien Abduction by Devil's Backbone. The style is a cold IPA, and the waitress said that just had to do with the brewing process. What exactly a cold IPA is? It just reminds me of a normal IPA. It is very cold though, that's nice. Hoppy, very good.
If the moment came, I would take on.
Confusing.
You're confused.
Patty!
Hey, Patty.
Aw, hey Patty!
Nachos.
That wasn't that movie.
I have like 4 layers of
Here,
socks.
take
I got right now.
Hmm.
Oh man, this is so good.
I wanted to be a tester, so I don't ever have to put oil in.
Look how beautiful.
My mom and dad gave my friends a ride to where they were staying at an Airbnb with other hikers, and then the three of us went to enjoy the luxury of a hotel. Oh,
Welcome.
wow! Wow!
And pillows. Carpets. And blankets.
My eyes are so red. I thought they were bad in the woods. Turns out I'm even more allergic in the city. But good news, I get to take a shower now and then sleep in a bed. First attached tick of the trail, but that's okay. I have a tick key. Wow, that came off so easily. It's a great little product. Getting back to the trailhead though, you know, I was kind of stressed out because we're trying to walk 19 miles today. It's already past 9 o'clock. But I left my sleeping bag, tent, sleeping pad, cook set with my parents. So basically my backpack is just some food, some extra clothes, first aid kit, water, sit pad, just like random stuff. I'm trying out a sun shirt my mom got me. I'm hiking in different shorts than usual and trying out a new pair of socks that are really cushy and soft. I feel so pampered. While my parents love to hike, we move at pretty different speeds these days, so they drop me off during the day and we'd spend time together in the evenings. I stayed on that overlook for a little bit, editing a video on my phone. And I need to post that video in like 8 hours. I edit on the trail and I haven't been super good about it recently. That's kind of an added, challenge to my day, is to kind of have my foot in both camps of hiking but also documenting and sharing it. I really enjoy you all. I appreciate you all watching so much, and I want to be as good to you as possible by always getting a video out on Wednesday at 8 p.m. unless it's a two-parter, and the two-parter is on Thursday at 8. I'm trying my hardest to get that video edited and up on time today, and I also have 15 miles to walk. Look at these two trail angels hanging out by a road. Aren't they sweet? Aren't they angelic? That was so cool. My parents were at that road crossing. I felt bad though because they'd been sitting there a while. I am just going so slow today. Oh my gosh, mistakes are being made today. I'm running because the trail is very flat, and just as I was thinking, I hope I don't surprise any animals, like deer. I was picturing a deer or something poking its little head up and being freaked out at the fact that I'm running. What do I see on the trail? If you're scared of snakes, look away. This little guy, like a stick just blending in, but if you look at the tip of its tail, that might be a rattler. If you look at its head, here I'll zoom in. If you look at its head, it's spade-shaped, therefore it's probably poisonous. Also, look at that meaty body. That is a snake you don't want to mess with. Also, how am I going to get this snake to move so I can walk past it? Alright, buddy, I'm talking in a low voice. Can you move, please? Can you hear me? Are you dead? Now he's moving. He woke up and said, "Oh, there's people." Okay, I'll get out of your way. Oh, that looks so cool, though. How they can move without any legs. I wonder if he's hurt.
I think he's just really satisfied after whatever he ate.
That was a nice shelter and a nice privy. Honestly, the privy was inspiration for me hiking really fast the past mile or so, or maybe longer. Whatever gets the miles done, honestly. It's just before 5 and I have 1 mile to go until where I'm meeting my parents tonight. I thought it was going to take me till 6 or 7 tonight, judging by the time we got started. So that means I was hiking 3 miles an hour. I'm so proud of myself. Of course, my pack is lighter. I'm more well fed, I'm more well rested, and I have more motivation than usual because I'm trying to hike fast so I can have time to finish getting up my video. I'm so proud of myself. In the beginning of the trail, it felt like I was going fast. I would pass more people in a day, and anytime I told someone when I started, they were like, "Dang." Nowadays, it feels like I'm the last person into camp every night, and most people I know are ahead of me on the trail instead of a mix of both ahead of me and behind me. I haven't been feeling too good about my speed lately. That being said, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but it kind of matters to me. So this feels really good. As I was putting the finishing touches on my video, we went out to dinner at another brewery, 7 Arrows. This is the most unique beer I think I've had on trail. It's called Forager Raspberry Oatmeal Stout. When I ordered a stout, I was picturing it might be a little chocolatey, little coffee-y, but it's not really. But what I do notice when I thought about oatmeal, because that's in the name, duh, I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, it does taste like oatmeal and with a little bit of raspberries mixed in. That's why I ordered it, because it seemed like a breakfast you'd have on trail. I get to spend some quality time with my parents and hang out on this cool patio. Patio with my daddy-o. Cheers. From the news that was on in the breakfast room, I learned that the haze I saw on overlooks and my eyes being itchier than allergies usually make them were because of wildfires in Canada. The haze stayed around but wasn't as thick, and luckily my eyes felt better in a few days. That day was a 0 day, so I spent the morning working on videos before meeting up with the rest of our family for Mexican food. Next, we went to Walmart, where I got some new shorts, and we stocked up for something different we were doing the next couple days. My plans for after lunch and buying groceries was I was going to go on an outing with my parents. There wasn't a movie out we all wanted to see. We couldn't think of much to do other than go to Shenandoah National Park, which is right by here. After we got back, I just kind of flopped on the bed, and my parents were like, "Do you want to go hiking?" And I was like, "I love you all. I want to hang out with you, but I'm so tired." And they were like, "Yeah, just stay here. Do whatever you need to do." I'm so glad they understood that I'm really, really tired and just wasn't up for it. Now I'll have some cozy time to get stuff done here, and we'll see each other this evening. But for those of you that like talking about gear, I thought I'd go through what I'm asking my parents to take back to their house so that I don't have to carry it anymore. First and foremost, my Trail Days dress. Loved wearing it in the hiker parade. Didn't have time to find a good home for it before I rushed out of town that morning, and I'd really like to keep it. This is like good memories, very fun to wear. You might see it again someday. My mom gave me these gloves to wear, haven't worn them in weeks, as well as my hat, haven't worn, and I feel confident that I have my puffy and my sleeping bag is pretty warm. I feel okay with not having warm things. Speaking of that, this is a sleeping bag liner that I haven't used in a long time. It's not comfortable to sleep in. Instead of my sleeping bag, with just this, don't need to carry that anymore. And the last of the warm weather gear is this mid layer I have. Of course, I still have my puffy, and I have been wearing this a lot, but I'm thinking if I can just wear my puffy as my one warm thing in the evenings, one less thing to carry and one less thing to keep track of. Everyone talks about carrying backpacking gear and how little weight they want to carry, but honestly, I also want fewer things to keep track of. I lose everything. Also, I haven't worn my gaiters in a really long time. Ankle gaiters, you put them over your shoe to keep sticks and rocks and dirt out from getting down in your shoe, but that hasn't been a huge problem. When I did Numupoyo, also called the John Muir Trail, everyone had these besides me. I wished I had them, so I got them. Now on the AT, I'm ready to get rid of them because I haven't worn them in so long. They're a really cool pattern though. They're good to look at, but I never wear them. Again, with the warm things, I had one last thing that you shake up and it's warm. Never used. I'll save that for later. Sunglasses. Now that I'm going to be, well, I haven't told you this yet, but next week I'm aquablazing, which means you don't walk on the trail, you go in water. This time it's canoeing that runs close to the trail in the same direction. So more on that later, but now that I'm going to be in a canoe, am I going to want this? Am I going to want these? I guess I'll hang on to it just in case. I started the trail with this tripod, but sometime in April, one of my friends was like, "Hey, did you lose your tripod?" And I was like, "No." He was like, "Well, I found this one on the trail." And I was like, "Oh, that's someone else's, but why don't I hang on to it?" I did put a note on Far Out, which is the map app. "Hey, if anyone lost their tripod, text me." And no one's texted me yet, so I think it's something someone just left behind and was like, okay, belongs to the trail now. And then the trail provided it to me. So anyway, tripod that I upgraded, gaiters that I never wore, cold weather stuff, floor length ball gown. All things that I'm gonna part with. I forgot to say, one of my hardest choices with what to give back and what to keep with me is my umbrella. Ever since I figured out to just give up on this attachment I got and just hold it while walking, it has gotten better, but it comes in handy about once every 2 weeks because sometimes it's not raining hard enough, sometimes it's raining too hard. It gets in my way just about every day because I don't have a good pocket for it on my backpack. With the water bottle pockets on the side, sometimes it leans out like this. I put it in the loops on the back that are for ice hooks or something like that. If it hits a tree, it really yanks me back, and then I'm worried about ripping the loops off my pack. So it was a tough choice, but I'm going to send the umbrella back home with my parents and maybe use it on more trails, especially on the really sunny ones. Are you taking the laundry soap back to the car?
Do you want to put this in your pack?
Once my parents came back from their hike, we enjoyed dinner together and then got a good night's sleep after a peaceful and productive day.